Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of our F124 driver career mode with Enzo Fittipaldi. We are back for round 9 and the Canadian Grand Prix. Another track that I do particularly well at, so hopefully we can carry the momentum of that strong finish in Monaco and hopefully grab another good finish here. Let's go ahead and get into our specialist goals. I think we can do the average cornering speed. Achieve 3 purple sectors. Finish in a better position than your teammate in qualifying. That's real easy. We'll go ahead and do that. In practice, complete a lap using at least 2 sets of tires. Incur no more penalty. We're going to go with that's really easy. We always use at least 2 sets. Complete the race strategy practice program on 2 different tire types or earn 5 championship points. Oh, that's a tough one. We're going to go with the 5 points because I don't have enough patience to actually do the strategy on 2 different tire types. Now we're going to jump on into the R&D. We do have 889 resource points to go ahead and apply. The monocoque structure, if we added it, would be on before Red Bull Ring. That is a major upgrade. Our stators did fail, though, and that would be on before Canada. So I think we're going to go ahead and reapply that. And then we'll still have enough to go ahead and throw on a secondary wing flap. And that'll be on right after Canada and before Spain. That's absolutely perfect. Okay, so, yeah, I think that will cover everything. Now we're going to go ahead and jump on into practice.
Hello, welcome to Montreal, welcome to Canada. It's free practice time and the opportunity to get your eye in and keep your car out of the Wall of Champions.
Here we are for lap 1 of practice here in Canada. We are expecting rain in qualifying and during the Grand Prix, so right now I do have a dry setup on, but we are going to have to apply a wet setup before we go ahead and get on into qualifying. That's our first.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Honestly, a little tougher than I thought it would have been. I had to kind of push to get above the Delta. Here's our first true test of pace for the weekend, our race strategy practice program. I'm pretty sure we'll have decent pace. I don't think I'll have to push too hard. So go ahead and get a purple score here, but you never know. Just barely up on the Delta here. Coming down this final long straightaway, going into the last chicane. Delta's going down because we are not using the DRS. Can we sneak back into the green? We just barely do. Oh man, I thought we were going to have a lot more pace this race weekend, but we're going to make sure we have to make sure we nail these last 2 laps. I'm up 5.5 tenths on the Delta at this point. Last lap I was only up 1.5 tenths, and the lap before that you guys saw how close it was. So we just have to keep the rest of this lap clean and tidy, and we should get our second purple score. Although the pace was a lot closer than I would have anticipated. And right here at the end of the straight, we just lose a massive amount of time. Oh man, we barely make the Delta here. And we do get our second purple score of the weekend. Here we are for our true test of pace this weekend. Our qualifying practice program. Gotta nail the lap here. As we do anything but in the first 2 corners. Oh, we nudged the wall there. Somehow still up on the Delta, though. We gotta stay committed, though. As we throw it all away there in the hairpin. Unfortunate. Oh, we almost snuck back into the green.
Program complete.
Oh.
Program complete. These results will do, although you could definitely do better. Consider giving it another shot.
Oh, wow. It allowed us to get in the green. We will take that, I guess. Would have loved the purple score, but we'll have to settle for it.
What an incredible practice session that was. But the fun doesn't stop here, though. Join us again as the rest of the weekend unfolds.
Well, both the Mercedes topped the charts in FP1, as we are just half a tenth behind our teammate. And we know there was a lot of time to be found in that lap, particularly in the hairpin. So, yeah, I'm pretty confident in our pace going forward. Let's hop on into qualifying, and hopefully we can get ourselves a decent grid position. Here we are for our first lap of Q1, as it is absolutely monsooning down. I did wait for them to go ahead and form a dry line for us, as there was really no rush to be the first one out there. I also am running a slightly wet setup, so I'm hoping we have decent pace here in the rain, as we are sliding around here on the first lap. Ooh. Biting the car. Need at least a 1:23.0 to beat Botas. This first lap was really just a delta when I was feeling out the grip. This track is definitely completely soaked. Definitely wet tire weather, but now this lap is the one we really got to be committed. We felt out the grip, and we still ran a 1:23.9. Not that bad, honestly. .6 seconds up on the delta.
Okay,
here.
just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
And that's P10. And we're purple in Sector 3. Well, there you have it. At the end of Q1, a 1:22.242 was enough for us to make it through. We were 2/10 quicker than our teammate as well. No massive shocks to drop out of qualifying. Actually, I believe it was the same. No, I'm 100% sure. This is 3 weekends in a row. It's been both the Haas's, both the Saubers, and Logan Sargent out in Q1. I mean, they're nothing but consistent. Now let's get on into Q2 and hopefully have a shot at making our way into Q3. Here we are for our first lap in Q2. We waited until the end of the session, made sure there was as much of a dry line rubbered in as we could possibly have. And yeah, we give ourselves enough of a chance to do 2 laps in a row. We are on the same tires that we used for the last session. Unfortunately, we only got 1 set of wet tires, so we're going to have to make it work on the used wets. We got our warm-up lap out of the way. This lap is the money lap. It needs to be perfect.
Okay, we're currently in the drop zone. We need you to move up into the top 10 or we're not going to progress to the shootout.
1.1 seconds up. We just gotta stay committed and also stay neat and tidy the rest of the lap. 1.2 seconds up. Have a clean chicane here, and we should see ourselves through to Q3. .6 seconds up on the Delta. What a lap. P4 for us at 1:21.6. As both the Alpines through to Q3. Let's go. That's just awesome to see. And both the Aston Martins out in Q2. Hopefully we can soon replace Aston Martin as the fifth best team on the grid. And yeah, the margins were actually pretty close. We were only 0.3 off of not making Q3, and we were all the way up in P4. So yeah, hopefully we can continue this momentum into Q3 and hopefully have a challenge for pole here in the wet weather. Here we we are for our first lap of Q3. The rain is finally starting to subside a little bit. Not sure if it'll dry up enough for softs by the end of Q3. But right now we're going to go ahead and put down a banker on the intermediates as we send it a little too deep into that corner. Oh, here we go, formula drifting. We're purple in sector 1 here. To start this lap, 1.4 seconds up on our delta. Two seconds up on our delta. We just gotta stay committed the rest of this lap.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
2.1 seconds up. Gotta stay committed and have a clean chicane here. And that should put us somewhere up towards the front of the pack. .3 seconds up on the delta. I almost thought I was going to
ETA on this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there. You're doing well.
Max Verstappen grabs pole position here in Canada, as Carlos Sainz is all the way down in P8, looking like Ferrari may struggle here, just like in real life. We grab our best qualifying effort of the year, though. So yeah, let's get on into the race now.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to the variant of this track back in 1978, and it was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on this circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Fittipaldi, Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Albon, Hülkenberg, Norris, Bottas, Sargent, Joe, Gasly, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me in the commentary box today, former racing driver herself, Naomi Schiff. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
It's a very special time for the drivers. It's almost like everything around you slows down and you become hyper-aware. So your nerves slightly go up, your adrenaline's going up. It's the perfect time to start focusing on your visualizations and preparing for the race. So you want to avoid distractions and really stay cool, calm, and focused.
We're on the grid here in Canada in the pouring down rain. Our teammate did elect to take a grid penalty, probably grab some new components, so he is starting from the back. We're going to look to capitalize on our amazing track position and the weather. We may be able to challenge for our first podium here. Times like this is when the driver can make the difference instead of the car. As for our strategy, they're saying it's a one-stop. They're not going to try to make me take the wets the whole way. They think it's best if we just go ahead and stop, and then they want another set of wets. We'll see how the tire wear is looking all the way throughout the race, and it's looking like it might dry up towards the end. So I'm thinking we try to take the wets as far as we possibly can and then throw on dries. So we may try to go longer than lap 15. But yeah, so that's enough for the strategy. Let's hop on into the formation lap and then the race. Here we are under those 5 red lights in Canada and the pouring down rain. And it's lights out and away we go. Oh, as Lewis Hamilton tries to squeeze us off the road there, but we're able to force it around his outside. Now to his inside. We do have more grip than the Brit there as we make the move stick, and we're now up to P3 here. And it's lights out and away we go there as Max Verstappen gets a great launch off the line here in the rain and is able to hold the lead into turn 1 as we go side by side with Lewis Hamilton, stick it up his inside and make the move stick, and we're up to P3. Now I just gotta settle in, get used to these conditions, and maybe try to make a move on Russell here, as I feel like I have a ton more grip than them, honestly. I say that as I'm drifting out of the corner there. Little overzealous there in that corner. The rain really is proving to be the great equalizer, allowing us to really challenge here for the podium. Whew! Major snap there coming out of that final corner. We set the fastest lap of the race.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
We are absolutely flying as yellow flags are out here early on lap 3. Not sure if that's an incident because of the rain or if someone's broken down. As they say, Sergio Perez is out of the Grand Prix here early.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace.
Here we have a look at Sergio Perez heading into turn 1 as his Red Bull just decides to take a quit today. And yeah, that is not what Red Bull wanted to see in their battle for the constructors with Ferrari.
Slow your pace immediately.
We have a VSC here. Back to racing here. I feel like the VSC really allowed us to pull a gap on Hamilton there. I don't think he was quite back up to speed when we went green. Oh, as we get a big snap there on the power a little too soon. These conditions really
No
are
tyre
treacherous.
concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, Enzo, Russell's ahead of you now. We can't let them hold us up for too long, so let's try and get past as soon as possible and crack on. Push, push.
Promise you, Mark, Russell is not holding us up. These conditions are harder to drive in than you think. Tough to get to the back of Russell here. Oh, as we get major snap there. As we pulled a 2.5 second gap on Charles. Hamilton's managed to stay with us though, so it's looking like it'll potentially be a 4-horse race here for the win. As far as the constructors battle goes, with Sergio Perez out here early in the Grand Prix, that's really going to hurt Red Bull, and if both the Ferraris can have a decent finish here, they might be able to not lose too many points in the constructors. As Lewis Hamilton is the fastest man on the track here in these mixed conditions. The Mercedes really seem to be strong this weekend as Russell is closing up to the back of Max here.
Who's on the rest of this race?
We just set the quickest lap of the race as we don't quite meet our goal to pass towards Russell. I am going to go ahead and peel into the pits right when Mark says inters are the quicker tire. Try to get an undercut on these guys.
ETA on this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there, you're doing well. Inters and wets will probably have very similar pace at the moment. The radar's showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
We're pulling in. Inters are the best tire. Throw on the intermediates here and let's try to get an undercut.
Right, let's go, come on. Perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
Question is where we're going to come out. Oh, Piastri pitted on the inners as well.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
So I'm not the only one who thinks that it's time for inners. That's a good sight to see right there. So I think we have made the right call, as now it's time to cook on the intermediates and pass as many of these people as we can and get an undercut on Max. As we do a late dive bomb to the inside of Lando Norris there, as we just have so much more grip.
Nice move, good job.
The intermediates just have so much more grip than the wets at this point. There's no chance we'll get to the back of Alcer here. We're gonna look to set him up into turn one. Get a slight bit of front locking there. But I mean, we just have so much more grip than them. The intermediates was definitely the right call here. The question is how long is the rain gonna last? Are the front runners just gonna try to wait out the rain and put on dries? Because that was my initial plan. But I wanted to do something a little riskier and hopefully maybe undercut Verstappen here.
Okay, you're doing well out there. Keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
Mark's still calling for 10 more minutes of rain, which is exactly what I want to hear. So we're going to dive to the inside of Hulkenberg here. Late braking, and we make it stick.
Verstappen's just put up the fastest lap of the race so far.
Verstappen put up the fastest lap, and then we go ahead and shatter it. We're definitely getting an undercut on him, but he will have the newer intermediates whenever he does decide to go in and pit. So we're gonna get a run on Albon here. Look to dive bomb him. Oh, and the intermediates are just the tire you want to be on. We have so much more grip than him.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them. That's for the time being.
Dive to the inside of Sonoda here. Same spot as we passed Albon, as we are purple in Sector 1. The track is drying a ton here, as everyone on wets are going to be sitting ducks at this point.
We anticipate an end to this rain in around 5 minutes. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
That is not what we want to hear. 5 minutes, the end of the rain, is exactly what we don't want. We need the rain to keep going, and we need these guys to have to pit for inners. That's how our strategy works. As we late break, Daniel Ricciardo-esque move on Yuki Tsunoda there, and we make it stick. We don't have any time to be held up. by these slower cars.
It seems to be the fastest tyre for now.
As we get our second warning of the Grand Prix. That is not good. Now we need to be extra careful. Can we get Fernando into the chicane here? I'm going to use all my battery. Oh, our straight line speed is just so terrible compared to the AI. Even with draining all our battery, we have no shot to catch him down the straight.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Fernando did not want to give that position up. As the front runners are pitting. Hamilton's in the pits. Verstappen's in the pits as well, as we made it out ahead of him. The question is, what kind of gap will we have on him?
Pierre is in for his stop now.
Gonna look to make a move on Stroll here as we get a little bit of oversteer there. But we just have so much more grip than everyone who's on the wets. They just have no chance. And so we have over a 7-second gap to Verstappen. Everyone on wets pitted, but they're saying it may dry up soon. Maybe they should have tried to do a few more laps on the wets. I think Verstappen knew, though, he has such a gap to me, where if it didn't dry up, he was never going to win this race. Now it's just a question of, can I hold off Verstappen and hold this gap for 10 more laps? And will it dry up?
For now.
No more rain expected. It looks like the track is going to be drying for these last 7 laps. Oh my gosh, we're so loose there. That is not going to help us maintain the gap to Verstappen. As we still have a 5-second gap to Verstappen here. He's running us down, but I don't know if he'll have enough time to run us down and catch us, as long as we don't make any massive mistakes. I think even if it dries, I may try to finish this race. And just not pit. I don't know if it's worth it to pit. Unless everyone else pits, then maybe I will, just so my tires don't have a chance of giving out. But because the tire wear is going to be close in these last 5 laps here, especially with it drying out. Trying to save my spare energy for when Max gets close to us. His DRS is now enabled.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
So obviously the track is dry. The question is will the AI pit, or are they going to try to make it to the end
No
here?
rain expected. No rain expected for the time being. Okay, not sure whether dries or inters are faster. We're right on the crossover.
2 to go. Can we hold off Max Verstappen here? 1.4 seconds on the Dutchman here. As the tire warning light has come on. 1.5 more laps here. He's closed it within a second here.
Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap.
1 lap to go here. Can we hold off Max Verstappen for our first win of our career? He'll get DRS here as well. We got a good run out of that corner. I don't think he's going to be close enough to be able to make a move here. As he will be right behind us here, but we'll have 90% battery as we go to the center of the track to go defensive, park it on the apex, and look to get a good run down this final long straightaway. We're going to use all our battery here. No, as Max Verstappen just has DRS, ERS, and everything. Here's another look at the amazing run Max Verstappen's able to get using the slipstream, overtake, and DRS, as we are draining the battery with a ton of percentage and just have no chance to hold off the Dutchman. As we take the last corner there, we unfortunately get a penalty, which is going to drop us down to P4. He blows by us like we're standing still, and we get a 3-second penalty on the last lap. No! And we end up P4.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
What a heartbreaking finish to our Canadian Grand Prix. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. As Nico Hülkenberg gets driver of the day.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
Well, that's 2 race wins in a row for them. I think they'll be really happy with that. I mean, 1 race win is great, but to have 2, you know that you've got it. You're a little bit more comfortable in your skin. This is a great sign of maybe what's to come next.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sports that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
A double Mercedes podium there as we cost ourselves our first podium of our career with that last corner, getting that penalty. Oh, I cannot believe it. Such a heartbreaking end to our Canadian Grand Prix. Could have been standing on the top step, but instead we're not even on the podium. We will take 4th. I mean, that's still a great finish for Alpine, but just an absolute heartbreaker with the way it ended.
Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Max Verstappen wins, and we lose our spot on the podium here, all because of our mistake in the last corner. Rookie mistake by us. As Carlos Sainz gets 6, which allows Max Verstappen to now pull out a 19-point gap in the Drivers' Championship. Lando Norris didn't score any points this weekend, so he's now 61 points back, and he's definitely still in it, but he's going to need the front 2 to have some challenges if he wants any shot, as we're now only 8 points behind George Russell in the Drivers' Championship, so that's still wide open. As for the Constructors, Ferrari now has only a 5-point gap over Red Bull, and we're only 13 points behind Aston Martin, so 5th is wide open for Alpine. I think a 5th place in the Constructors is definitely on the table for us. We just got to stay consistent and bring as many upgrades as we possibly can. Also, don't make any mistakes like I did in that last corner. We could potentially be right with them. I think, 13 point. If we would have won, we would have actually made up those 13 points and been tied with Aston Martin. So we cannot afford more mistakes like that as the year progresses. But yeah, thank you to anyone who watched the video. Please like and subscribe, and you guys have a great day.